This activist back home, VDM, Verydarkman. I believe you've heard about him. I mean,
Yes.
he's one of the trending activists
Yes.
now. And people are after him. People are bashing him. Recently, he was arrested and was released on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
And people have said so many opinions about him. What they think, they feel like he's talkative.
Yes.
But I've been someone who talks, a life coach like you. You have your own. What do you feel? I'm sure you have your own perception of how you see, because you relate with the public. You relate with
Of course.
So, what do you think about this person that is making the internet topsy-turvy right now?
What I would say about VDM, Verydarkman issue. Long time ago, I have been following that young man. Sometimes I disagree with him, and sometimes I agree with him. What he is now is like a public eye. Verydarkman issue is a very dangling issues. It's a very dangerous issues that has to do with, are we to suppress this guy, or are we to promote him? When trying to suppress him by maybe with security threat or something like that, we are already making him more popular. That is the issue of Verydarkman. One thing I like about Verydarkman is that he is outspoken. He fears no one. When someone of that nature, you cannot be flamboyant by bringing fear of people into your life. Verydarkman has made himself someone that he fears no one. As he always said, he's already on the ground. You cannot throw him. And which is true, you cannot throw him. He's a controversial guy that speaks the truth. That is one thing I found in him. He speaks the truth without any fear or favor. He speaks what it is. And what is wrong with what he said recently? That someone is being an abnormal, someone is killing people with her products. What is the law in Nigeria about when it comes to NAFDAC registration? You are selling a product that has no NAFDAC registration, and someone courage to speak against it, then it becomes a problem in the society. Sometimes I begin to think, where are rule of laws? When I listen to some youths that claim they have future, castigate and talk down on that young man for speaking against products that are not used legal. No NAFDAC number. You are selling it, and there are records of harm on people's skin, on people's health, and a young man spoke against it. It becomes a problem, and a youth will come and stand against it. There is an attitude, there is a trending that has a very negative impact on our children, on people, when it comes to social life, or when it comes to moral. Someone spoke against it and it becomes a problem.
And the very unique thing about this young man is he's been pulled down by a certain set of people because of his past. He did one time finished a man, gave a man a blowjob, and the fellow man. So people are saying, why are you calling out these people? Why are you going after Jenny's Glow, going after this? When you yourself, you were not perfect. You did this, you did that. So a lot of people are antagonizing him because of his past. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think these people have a credible right to bash him that way because of his past? I mean,
if choose to taunt me or choose to discredit me because of my past life, past way of life, past behavior, it is not that I killed. It is not a stigma. It is not like maybe he committed a crime that we warrant him not to run for presidency or government or any political position in the society. It's not. This is my life, the way of life that I used to live in the past. Then I came up and become somebody who speaks the truth, somebody who promotes human right, somebody who promotes equal right, somebody who promotes justice. Then you want to refer who I was yesterday. Is that not stupidity? Sorry to use that word. Now, talking about Verydarkman's life of the past, you saw him being so naive before. You saw him being so not outspoken before. You saw him being someone primitive before. But this became all gone. And this man we are talking about is somebody that is polished. Look at his English today. Look at his life today. And look at his associates. He has become somebody who is now dining on a table with elites. or elites, call it that. He's now dining on the table with likes of Davido, likes of the chief priest, likes of the fashion designer Vodi, all these kind of people. He's now dining in the same table with them. What do you have to say about that? You don't criticize people based on the kind of life he lived at the past, that someone said, now I'm a changed person. I did this because of this mistake, or because I was roasting in poverty. I did that kind of art because I was insignificant. I did that kind of life because no one decided to help me. Who knows? He did that in order to get money to cater for a particular cause. Criticizing him or discrediting him based on his past life, I don't think is sensible.
I
don't think it's sensible.
When you see the way people do that, the way people discredit him is as if they came from that backstory that this is what we held against him because he did this, he did that in the past, and then he's so judgmental. And these same people are the ones who are crying and clamoring for someone to speak up against things like beauty, the whitening things. People have a very funny attitude, very big problem. Who will bear the cat? This man came out, he's outspoken, he's talking, but then you're bashing him, you're saying things about him, but you yourself will not go out and speak. And
that is just the issue of that young man is that I told you earlier last year or middle last year, I was following him, but not with full attention. But recently, since last year or late last year, I began to pay critical attention to his speech, critical attention to his points. Guy makes salient points. He makes points that has to do with that when youths come up to back him up, he will become someone who can speak against injustice, someone who can speak the mind of the youth. But it's quite unfortunate when you look our society back there in Nigeria, the youths are the problem of themselves.
That's a very well point.
The youths are the problem of themselves. And that is why those old men in power still thinking that, yes, they cannot do anything. They said youths are the future of tomorrow. They cannot do anything. We're still in power. Because of this kind of thing, we are clamoring exchange rate. We are clamoring the government is not doing well. We are pointing fingers on the president and the Senate. Yes, they contributed, but I will tell you the truth categorically that 50%, 40% of the problem of that country is being caused by the youth, contributed by the youth and the society. All is not the government. The youth have failed to do what they're supposed to do. Do you understand? That is mine.
We do want to have more time to talk about this later, but we'll have to end it here. But what you've said about the youth being the problem is something that, and you see, when we go from the cradle, from the beginning of this thing, they let the government got this big. If you can remember, sometime they made a protest. I think that was 2020 or 2021, also that a lot of people were killed, a lot of youths were killed. It was a protest that they closed a lot of places. But then you saw that the thing they protested against died, and that was SARS. I don't know if you remember that. These people spoke up and then went marching, even if they were killed. But what they talked about, what they were fighting against, was put an end to end SARS. That was the end SARS protest. Yes. SARS ended.
Yes, but it ended by proxy. It ended on newspaper. It ended on SARS is still existing. You know what happened to end SARS issue? Because many people were shut up. Many people they were afraid to speak up because of their businesses and their companies will be tempered. People like Faz, the bad guy, people like Macaroni, people like all those people that spoke up. Where are they today? They were antagonized. They were used. They were being threatened with powers, with military powers and government authorities. They threatened these guys to hell. Those that have influence to speak about it, they were afraid to speak. They were afraid because what government of that country is doing, when you speak the truth, they will look for is if they cannot hit you directly, they will use indirectly by hurting your business or by hurting your family. My father always say, if you want to kill a dog, you give it a name. So that is what they are doing in that country. When they want to kill you, they give it a name. They give you a name by trying to kind of assassinate you or try to label you something that is derogatory, just to destroy. That's what is just happening in the country today. Just like the issue of this guy that was arrested, Risky man, the what do you call it? The man. They knew that what he's doing is not good. But due to paying, the government is pay attention or they pay allegiance to the liberal world. That when they go direct or straight with that point that he was arrested by being a cross-dresser or by being a gay, the world will come. That is why they try to give him another name. Arrest him based on money laundering. What is money laundering? What kind of money laundering? They say abusing of naira. He spread naira in. If you watch the video, there was a video I watched online where he was spreading money. He's not the only one that spread money. People are spreading money, marching and dancing. People are using it to throw. Have they been arrested? No.
So we thank you for your time. We thank you for your view. We thank you for you've enlightened so many people out there. I'm sure because it is very dark man, and these other topics we touched. These are sensitive topics, and I believe you've actually made some people see where he is coming from and why he should not be judged.
Yes,
we thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure. Thank you. Have a good one.